Hello everyone, welcome to all. Today we are going to see what is the basic of issue of shares. So first let's see what is shares. So what is a share? Share, also known as stocks, represent ownership in a company. When you own share, you own a portion of that company. These shares can be bought and sold on the stock market, and owning them entitles you to certain rights such as voting at shareholders meeting and potentially receiving dividends, which are a portion of the company's profit. Okay, let me explain you this clearly. Now let's take a company like a company called ABC. I am being a public. So the company is in the need of, or they are planning to increase their business either capitally or in the portion of their production, something like that. Now they need capital amount to increase. So they will not have such amount. So they'll issue the share of their company. I, being a public, if I get a particular share of the company, it means that I have a little bit of ownership in their company. I can get a fixed amount of dividend, that is profit of the company in a particular year, and I will also have some voting rights as a shareholders at the shareholders meeting. So this is called a share. When a company issue a, a part of their ownership, it is called a share. Next, what are the different kind of shares? Preference shares, equity shares, shares with differentials. So we will see what is different kind of preference shares. So first is cumulative shares. Now, if I am holding a cumulative share, at present, the share of the company, I'm holding the share of the company called ABC. They are not profitable this year. They like they are. It is said that they are going to give me 8% of dividend. So they are not profitable this year. This 8% of dividend will be carried forward to the next year. That is, if the company is profitable, that is fully profitable on the next year, the present year's 8% dividend and the previous year's 8% dividend, which they failed to pay to me, they will pay that both 60% dividend to me. So the dividend will be carried forward. Those shares are called as cumulative shares. Non-cumulative shares is just the vice versa of cumulative shares. That is, the present year, if the company is not profitable, they will not pay the dividend. The next year, if the company is profitable, that year's dividend only will be paid to the public, that is the shareholder. The other will not be paid, that is the share dividend will not be carried forward. Next is participating share. So participating share, if now we are having preference shareholders, equity shareholders. Um, okay, uh, they already paid to the preference shareholders, and the equity shareholders are also done with the payment. Now the company is having a um, extra profit. That is like they're having like if 5 lakh is the profit, they're all they had already paid the preference shareholders and they also paid the equity shareholders, and still they are having the profit. This participating shareholders, if they are also an equity shareholder, they'll get this extra profit will be given first preference to the equity shareholder. So the profit will be first given to the equity shareholder, and if you're also a participating shareholder, the equity shareholder, as a equity shareholder, you will get extra profit, and being a participating shareholders, you will get extra profit. That is, you will be given the highest preference when you're being an participating shareholders when the company is more profitable. Next is redeemable. When we come to redeemable share, like I'm getting a share and the company has already given me, now the company is willing to take their share again. So they will take their share again and they'll give the amount that I paid to them to get the share. That is, the thing that we exchange will be again exchanged to each other. That is called as redeemable shares. Next is equity shareholders. So equity shareholders, the dividend for the equity shareholders will not be fixed. And also the disadvantage of being an equity shareholder is that when a company get profit, first they will give the payment to the preference shareholders. Only if the payment is fully completed to the preference shareholders, then they will come to the equity shareholders to pay them. The next point is that the dividend are paid only after the payment is done to the preference shareholders. So they have the first right to get the excess profit of the company. That is the thing that I said in the participating shares. If the company is having more profit, the equity shareholders will be given the first priority to give the profit. And if you're also being a participating shareholders, you will get extra profit being an equity shareholders, and being a participating shareholder, you will get a lot of profit being like that. Next is share with differentials. So the three main points of being in share with differential rights is these shares are first paid to the promoters and founders of the company before it is issued to the public. That is, the shares, when the company is in the decision to pay their shares, to issue their shares, first they will issue the shares to the promoters and founders of the company or the employees, that is, the people who are related to the company. And then, if the shares are more available, they'll issue it to the public. So, they have the voting rights. These shares are given to some of the special persons which are decided by the founders. Yeah. So, like, first, it will be given preference to the founders, promoters, public, to the peoples like that, and then it will be given to the public. Next are the basic entries for the issue of shares. So, first, for receiving share application money, when you receive a share application money, these are the basic so for receiving the share application money, bank account data to share application account. The application money is received on the such date, and the application at rupees this much will be bought. Okay. Next, at the time of share allotment, share application account data to share capital. The transfer of this is the transfer of application money on the allotment shares. Next is for return of rejected application money, share application account to bank account. This will happen when this is when there is an exist subscription on the issue of the shares. Like if the company is going to issue 10 shares and the public has been applied for 15 shares, those 5 shares will be rejected. So the return on the application money for the rejected applicants will, when it is done, these entries will be done. Next is for transfer of exist application money of pro rata applicants. So share application account data to share allotment account to calls in advance. If the article is permitted, this will be done. So excess application money of pro rata allottees will be transferred. Then for the allotment amount received, when the allotment amount is received to the company, share allotment account data to share capital. That is, allotment money is receivable. When cash is received for allotment, so bank account data to share allotment account, the amount received towards allotment. When share first call is made for the first call amount receivable, share first call account data to share capital account. So share first call amount receivable. When cash is received for the first call, bank account data to share first call, the amount received towards the first call will be done here. Next is forfeited shares. So, shares might become forfeited if the shareholders fail to meet certain obligations, such as not paying for the shares, violating specific terms outlined in the company bylaws, or failing to fulfill certain requirements set by the company within a specific time frame. These conditions are typically defined in the company shareholders agreement or terms of purchase. Okay. So, when I am purchasing a share in a company, there will be some terms and applications which we have to be acceptable, and we should sign the papers. So, what is forfeitures of share is that, and I have already paid the application amount, allotment amount, and I had been not paying the first call amount or violating some specific terms or not paying for the shares. When these are done, when I am failing in something, the company will decide to take their shares back. So this is called as forfeitures of shares, when the company take their shares back from the public because the public didn't pay or violated something according to the rules and law. Those shares will be called as forfeitures of shares. Next is reissue of shares. Reissuing shares refers to the process where forfeitures or repurchase shares by the company are made available again for the purchase or allocation to new or existing shareholders. This occurs after the share have been cancelled or taken back due to forfeitures, buyback, or other reasons, and then are reintroduced into the market or allotment to new investors. So, I got when the company is having those forfeiture shares, when they are ready to issue those forfeited shares again to the public or the existing shareholders, those shares will be called as reissue. That is the share which is already issued and been got back by the company and now it is being reissued is called as reissues of shares. So this is the basic of issue of shares, and this topic has a lot of deep contents inside this. In this we'll just see what is the basic of issue of shares. So thank you for watching. Thank you.